officially almost. Now we're here. Okay, sweet. So this is actually, I think, our first real conversation, like beyond the phone call last week,
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
which is pretty cool. I know we've seen each other a few times, and I was just thinking about it before we started. My first memory of you is a red Haro with a blue and pink windbreaker coat. Oh, maybe a white helmet at Baco in 2015 or 16.
Yeah, we all go through phases in life, man.
You're not in that
Yeah.
phase anymore?
I don't know. I like to just keep changing. I've changed quite a bit since I've like started riding, and I just go through phases, man. You know.
Yeah. I mean, I can't say the same because I've been stuck in the same phase of life since 2006. But you know, everybody's different. I did want to ask you though, like, just personally, what's riding like right now for you?
Well, it's tough. I move around quite a bit for
Mm-hmm.
work, so it's like you move to a new place and you try to learn the scene a little bit before you just like kind of dive into it.
Uh-huh.
And I've had to do that a few times, and um, so I'm kind of doing that right now. You know, although I've been here for probably a year and a half at least, it's like it's hard to like kind of immerse yourself
Mm-hmm.
before you get to know people and learn about like different cliques and different crews and shit like that. You know.
Yeah, I experienced that when I moved to Columbus for school.
Yeah, so I've definitely met a lot of great people around here. I mean, BMX like crews aren't really the same as they were before, anyways. So it's like you'll find a dude riding at your skate park, and they like, "Yo, where are you from, man?" He's maybe like the next town over,
Mm-hmm.
and then he's like the only dude in that town, you
Yeah.
know. So it's been pretty tricky to like get in with people, you know.
Yeah, that seems like it'd be kind of tough. At least you're not like a kid who's like scared to even ride because you're new to riding. You're still at that point where like you're like kind of nervous to even ride in front of people, and then now you're moving to a new place and you have to talk to new people and make new friends. At least you're like
Yeah,
to a point where you're like, I'm an adult now. I can actually go and like talk to
yeah.
people.
Oh, for sure. And I'm super outgoing when I ride, anyways. I'm the first dude to like go up to you and say what's up, you know.
Yeah.
So I think people I think if you don't do that, you're kind of limiting yourself on your ability to just kind of branch out and network, you know?
Oh, absolutely. I see. And that is that how you met the person with the backyard ramp that you ride?
Oh yeah,
That I see.
yeah, yeah. And I will say he's super outgoing too. So I don't remember if he may have come up to me, but yeah, we definitely hit it off just because we just clicked, you know?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I know I've seen you post a lot of like, this is my favorite, or like backyard ramps, or where it's at, and things like that.
Oh yeah.
Definitely, definitely looks like you're having fun there.
100%, dude. I've always backyard ramps has always been my like my heart in BMX. You know what I mean? It's like my soft spot. That's like it's like my hands down favorite thing to do is get a backyard ramp sesh.
It's like the most fun too.
Yeah, it's like the most pure form of just good times on a bike, you know?
Can't disagree with that, man. Um, man, I'm trying to think here. So like you, I haven't seen a ton of like. Do you have any videos online or anything?
No, dude, it's pretty crazy. I've just like ever honestly since I started riding, like I haven't like had a ton of exposure and content. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've been riding for a long time, but I don't know. I always had this weird thing to like not push myself in BMX. It's just
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. And I was thinking about that today, and I was like, man, I think if I would have pushed myself early on, I probably could have I don't know done a little bit more. You know?
Well, I mean, you got hooked up with Verde in the last
Well,
year.
yeah, I guess my friend works there, so
Still, like, they wouldn't give it to you if you sucked.
yeah, yeah, I guess you're right.
That's so. I mean, that's pretty sweet. Obviously, it worked a little bit for you, even though somebody works there. But yeah, I was just trying to think. Like, man, I can't. The only stuff I can remember of like seeing you ride is like in person, and then some photos here and there that you post.
Yeah,
not a ton of
Yeah, and
videos.
that's kind of like a good plug and like a good message to kind of the younger kids is like I've been riding since like '96
Jeez.
and fucking just got I could just got a frame now. You know what I mean? Like it's been a long time with BMX, so don't let that shit kind of pull you. You know, hesitate your progression and shit like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And even the fact that it happened for you this like long into riding BMX, it's a good thing for people to see too. Is like doesn't matter, even if you turn 30 and nothing's ever happened for you. The fact that it's not about that and it still could happen.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Don't give up hope. Even today's day and age is probably as weird as it seems. It's like it's more accessible to be able to get noticed, but it's probably a little more difficult these days just because there's so many other good people riding. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, and I feel like since every single person in the world has a phone, like
Mm-hmm.
it's there's probably a lot less. I don't know how to say what I'm trying to say. Um, I'm getting sidetracked here because I see Tyler in the chat. Are you local to Tyler now? Is that how you guys like know each other? Or is that just an internet friendship?
Which Tyler are you
Tyler
talking about?
Richardson.
Where's he from? Oh yeah, Tyler from Bloomington. Yeah.
So
So
he's
Bloomington's like an hour from me. So I've definitely ridden with him a couple times. He gave me those wheels. I don't know if you
yeah,
probably heard it in the podcast, but yeah, dude, just a fucking good dude. Like
yeah,
I,
he's a
I
really
was
nice
saying,
guy.
I couldn't accept something like that, and I'm gonna still get him back. You know what I mean? But
Mm-hmm.
he's like, just fucking take him, man. So I was like, hell yeah.
Dude, that's BMX is so full of people who
I
just
know
like
it's crazy.
pay it forward, and it's sweet. You brought up the podcast though. I meant to bring that up already too. I kind of wanted to hear your backstory, how you like started that, because I was following your posts of like, kind of want to do something, I'm thinking about doing something. All right, now I think I'm gonna do something, and now you're to the point where you're 5 episodes in, and if anyone listening or tuning in right now hasn't checked out the Yeah Dude Sick podcast, I like Casey's style that he's got with this because it's totally different than anyone else who's doing a BMX podcast style. It's like you're a radio host and you've got people calling into you, and it's a really cool setup.
Yeah, that was the plan all along. Actually, the first idea was to have a radio show.
Yeah.
So like a weekly show, you know what I mean? And it was going to be kind of how my podcast is now, but with a bunch of music thrown in.
Mm-hmm.
The only issue with that is like just the fucking legwork and the hoops you have to jump through to get a radio show going. Like and just to think like, are people even going to listen to this every week?
Yeah.
It was going to be a live show on like maybe Thursday nights. Like, are people
Mm-hmm.
really going to tune in and listen? So like, am I going to put all this time and money into a radio show for it to just be like, 3, 4 of my friends listening, which is cool. But like, I think I just, you know what it was, man? I was overthinking it for a long time.
Yeah.
And then one day I'm just like, fuck this. I'm doing a podcast. And that's just what I'm going to do. So I just said, screw it. Just made it happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm psyched on it. It definitely has that little bit of like a radio show feel to it still.
Yeah, it
But
absolutely did.
but the idea to just have something like that, I've been thinking about for a long time, to tell you the truth. And honestly, a big reason, like, fuck, someone just the other day was like, "Hey, man, you should relax a little bit on posting, controversial shit or whatever." Like, I'm like, look, dude, like I said, I've been riding since '96, and I've never had a voice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I've never had the ability to express my opinions and shit.
Yeah.
So I'm doing it. Like, I'm not
Right.
fucking holding back anymore, man.
Which is awesome because there's really like, I mean, when you really think about it, the only controversial, like real deal controversial voice that you hear come up from time to time is for Catfish.
Yeah.
Like legitimately, I can't think of really anybody else who's like gone that hard on talking about these controversial things other than maybe like me talking about them in the news and giving my opinion on them and stuff. But real quick, just to answer someone in the chat, some 20 Grip asked, what's the podcast on?
It's on pretty much everything. So yeah, I don't know any like sources that it may not be on. It's on like all the major shit: Spotify, Apple, iHeart. You
Yeah, I
know.
found it just by Google searching. I just wanted you to answer it for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, like I can remember as you were thinking of starting up this whole podcast thing, it was controversial things that kind of like seemed like they were inspiring you, motivating you to even do it in the first place.
Yeah, I wanted the ability to just have a conversation with people about these things, and like I've said it before, but like man, we put so much into BMX. Like
Hmm.
why don't we have the right to talk about shit and like criticize and be able to question things? You know what I mean? Like
That's a
I,
really
I
good point.
yeah, it's like I do this stuff because I care about it. Like I'm not talking shit just to talk shit.
Yeah.
Like I want us to be able to talk together and like build and grow from stuff like that, you know?
Yeah, that's a really, really good point that I hadn't thought about before. Like we put our entire lives into BMX, and a lot of people, maybe I don't want to say a lot of people, but there is definitely been an expectation that you just kind of go with the flow and don't like and don't really ask questions or talk about things that we don't want to talk about, which is very weird to think about whenever you think about the whole point of BMX and being like the self-expression and like the outlet of things
Yeah,
and
yeah,
like going against the grain, and then like you're not allowed to go against the grain in
yeah.
that.
Yeah, where's the self expression when it comes to questioning something, you know? Like having a solo sesh at a skate park with your headphones on, man, that's only self expression to an extent, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So like that was a big part of it. I just wanted to be able to talk about this shit. And it's an open invite. It's always an open invite. I want people to disagree with me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I want to be able to talk about this shit.
Well, I think the main reason why we've gotten to where we are in BMX, anyways, in some of the things that people might not like or agree with, is because of the lack of talking about the other side. When you live in a bubble, it can only be that bubble, and if you bounce all of the outside opinions off of it, then how do you ever change?
Yeah, absolutely. You can't grow if you don't question things, you know?
Yeah, and being open to that changes and being open to those discussions of the other side is just as important for those things.
Yeah, that's a good point as well. You got to be a good listener too. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm when I say these things and when I post stuff like that, or if I talk about it on the podcast, it's because I want to learn more about it. You know, I want to be wrong about something, really, which I have been plenty of times.
Yeah, yeah, we all have been, and being able to admit that is pretty important.
Yeah,
This is good stuff, man.
yeah,
Uh, the guy who asked about where it was at 20 grips said subscribed and now downloading.
nice. Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
that.
I'm honestly like I'm not gonna sit here and say that I don't want that to be successful either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I've made it a point this year to like stop stop hiding behind this shield of just being afraid to tell people that I want to be successful in things. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I've gone like my whole life just being afraid to, I don't know, just fucking be successful. You know what I mean? It's weird. But like I
Yeah.
said, resolution this year was like, fuck this, man. It's 2020.
Well,
I'm
dude,
going in.
we're like almost conditioned as people to like hide behind, like to bring ourselves down to the level of everyone else to make everyone else feel comfortable. Not even just talking about BMX, but in life in general. You are almost shamed for not like bringing yourself down to everyone else's level if you're above that in something.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
it even goes with like conversation. Like it's down to the most minor thing. It's like I oftentimes find myself bringing myself to another person's level of, just conversational skills, whatever it may be. Like
mhm.
I've always tried to adapt to like the person I'm talking to or what I'm doing. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm sick of that shit, man. I'm over
To a certain
that.
extent, that's like a good trait to have, just to be able to relate to people
Yeah.
and be able to actually conversate with people rather than
Hmm.
being that like arrogant, like
Oh yeah,
But
absolutely.
I had a really funny thought just now whenever I was saying that about like how we are like almost shamed for not bringing ourselves down, but at the exact same time, the people who are at the very top are put at the very top of the pedestal as if they're gods, like in the celebrity sports type world. So there's almost like no in between. Like it's either you are at the very top and people praise you for being the best, or you have to dumb yourself down to the people at the lower level.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good point. It's like I was thinking about this earlier. It's like I keep going back. It's 2020, man. Like if you any like youngster listening out there, if you're trying to pursue something, if you're into a company, whatever it may be, if you're trying to make an edit, just fucking make it happen, man. The time, dude, it's like
Yeah.
there's no better time than right now to have just a free for all. You know what I mean?
Yep. And another thing I'll add to that is don't wait for anyone else to make it happen because no one's going to make it happen for you but you.
Yeah, that's a really important lesson. It's a lesson that's like really hard to grasp, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I will admit there's been a lot of times where I've waited and kind of relied on other people for certain things, like in doing things. And as soon as you let go of needing someone else to move forward with something, you you just instantly get into a totally different world of like getting stuff done and just making things happen.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy, man. And sometimes it's yourself that you need to like let go of. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you're like past your the ways you used to do things, and like it's crazy, man. I run a lot and I work out quite a bit, and like when I run, I channel that, and I meditate a lot, and I think about just breaking free of like not saying the person I was a bad thing. Like
Yeah.
I'm very happy like with what I've done in my life, and I'm content with that. But like you need to continuously grow. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm always thinking of just climbing more mountains. You know what I'm saying? Like I just never want to be heading downhill somewhere.
Yeah. That's a really good thing too. A lot of people talk about how being comfortable means you're stagnant,
Yeah.
which I think we all are guilty of at points.
Oh, of course. Absolutely. Life's it's I mean it's just difficult to stay on one track for a long time, whether
Hmm.
it's diet or fitness or whatever.
Oh yeah, those are like the hardest ones.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, this went from bikes to let's be life coaches with Casey and Brant.
Yeah, let's talk about bikes, man. Are you from Ohio?
Yeah.
Where were you born?
Same city I live in now, Worcester.
Okay, Worcester.
Yep.
Worcester. Yeah, we used to go to Chenga once a year, like the original Chenga,
Yeah.
and that was pretty cool. I'll never forget those road trips. And actually, Flow Skate Park in Columbus, the original Flow, I mimicked a lot of my skate park at home off of that skate park, and
Oh, that's cool.
I drew a lot of inspiration from those like Ohio skate parks at the time, and like built my own like public park.
That's really cool. I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
yeah. My friends and I, we raised all the money for the park, and we all sat down and designed it. I was like, look, dude, like this needs to go in there, and this needs to go in there, and like there were very specific things I needed to have in there. You know,
At what point in your like riding did that happen?
this was 2004, I
Okay.
think. Yeah, about 2004. So I graduated high school in '02, and then you know those few years after high school where you just like any BMXer is just kind of lost for a
Yeah.
few years. I know you said you went to college and stuff, which is sweet, but a
Hmm.
lot of us didn't do that. We just rode a lot, so we uh, we got a bunch of money together and got the skate park built. And it was sweet, dude. It was at the time when prefab parks like just were coming out, you know,
Yeah.
and I think it was True Ride that built the skate park, or maybe Spone Ranch if you've ever heard of them.
Yeah, they just built the new park that I've been posting about.
Okay, are they out of Minnesota? Do you know?
Oh crap. I don't know.
There's one that's out of Minnesota. It's either True Ride or Spone Ranch, but I'm happy to see that Spone Ranch is still doing it. Like they've adapted to like the times now, and they've like found a way to make it work.
Dude, that place, I think they're constantly working on like multiple different skate parks at a time with different crews, and those guys are literally just building the skate parks, then traveling to the next state or place and building more. It's crazy. I was talking to one of them for quite a while at the park that they just built. It seemed awesome.
You know what's cool about that? It's like it seems like a sustainable, just kind of path to go on in life. Like
Yeah,
you're gaining a lot, and you're having a good time, and you're making money. Like
and
that's fucking
traveling
sweet.
too,
Yeah,
seeing all these
yeah,
different places.
yeah, yeah. That's dope, dude. But yeah, we got that skate park built, and spent a lot of years riding that park. A lot of times I rode it alone, which I fucking hated. Like
Yeah.
I just can't stand riding alone, and I did that for a long time, and it made me like kind of going back to what you're saying. It's like not relying on anybody to get you through. You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
like fucking hated every minute of it, but it made me stronger for sure.
Yeah, yeah, riding alone sucks. And in all honesty, this YouTube channel has made riding alone like so much better because when
Oh,
I go to the
okay, okay.
park and there's no one there, I just set my camera up and I film a video and then I just have a session and it immediately goes from what was oh you made a screenshot. uh it immediately goes from like oh I'm riding by myself, what am I gonna do to I just figure out something to do, then focus on that, and then it just keeps progressively going every time.
Yeah, that's pretty. That's pretty cool to hear because like you're filming a lot at these skate parks. I know that for your YouTube channel. Like,
Mm-hmm.
do you feel like you're? I don't know because it kind of makes riding a little different because you're riding for the purpose of sharing that with somebody.
Not with my channel because I'm just filming what happens. So like even if I wasn't filming, I don't other than when we like play random games to film, the session I don't think would be too much different than it actually was. I might get more riding done if I didn't film just because I spend some time filming, but like even then I don't think it would be too much different because I've literally that's the other thing too is I've filmed since I started riding bikes and have not stopped. Every like I almost have just about every new trick that I've learned the first one I ever did on video.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. You've been able to document that, you know, and you're always gonna have that. Um,
Yeah.
I used to hate when my friend did that, man. My friend had one of those old, just like classic VHS cameras,
Oh
like a
man.
fucking shoulder cam, and he used to film everything, and I fucking hated it so
Dude,
much,
that
dude.
would be so much more work.
Yeah, he just sat there and held that thing all day.
And then you got the tape aspect of it. Like it's so easier to film. There we go. We got some backup in the chat. Tyler said, "I've experienced it. It's just riding, but it's filmed." Man, I cannot imagine. Like, just imagine being in like today's day and age, like filming a session, the whole session with a VHS camera.
Yeah, I don't know. It kind of goes back to argument of like, because I'm really into like old school BMX too,
Yeah.
and they always talk about like, man, I can't believe they're doing it on those bikes, man. They're fucking, you have like a 19-inch top tube,
Mm-hmm.
freaking bike weighed like 35 pounds, man. But like, it kind of goes back to arguments like, yeah, but what if that's all you know?
Yeah. Right.
That's what you know. Like it just feels normal. You know
What
what I'm
if
saying?
what if our bikes now are completely actually wrong for us and
Yeah,
aren't going
yeah,
to
totally.
discover it for 10 more years and then 20 years from now we're looking back and we're in our 40s and 50s like doing crazier tricks than we're doing now and we're like ha we knew nothing.
Yeah, totally. Like you can take that into the 90s too. Like riding those heavy bikes, like that didn't feel abnormal at the time. It just
Yeah.
felt like a bike that we rode, you know? So I've always like argued with that notion. It's like, yeah, man, they were doing that shit on fucking super heavy bikes back then, man. You guys are pussies nowadays. Like, yeah, but dude, like it's just they weren't thinking about it like that though, man. You know?
Yeah, they didn't have the option
Yeah.
to have a lighter bike. That was the only thing that was available. So it's not like today where like you could ride a heavier bike if you wanted to and call everyone pussies, I guess. But you could also ride a titanium bike that's 14 pounds.
Yeah. Do people still ride titanium frames?
Yeah, Scotty's video just today had that Corey dude who rides with them. He's on a
Oh,
tie
Corey
frame.
Burglar.
Yeah, he's on one.
Yeah, I'm not, dude. I'm like as underground as they come, but I'm not afraid to say that I've watched plenty of Scotty Cranmer's videos. You know what I mean? Like dude, I'm all about this shit. I love BMX.
Yeah, and that's awesome. And I love that. We could have conversations on both sides of the fence about everything, and I think that's really important, honestly.
Yeah, yeah. Let's not be closed-minded to a certain aspect of riding, because that makes you. I don't know. That kind of takes your credibility away a little bit, man. When you're not open to listen to these things like that, you know.
I agree. Talking any talk about freestyle and like anyone who says like freestyle and is all about freestyle, as soon as you make an argument against any kind of riding, then it's all out the window because you don't really believe in freestyle at that point.
Yeah, yeah. Define freestyle, you know, like that you can't. It's anything and everything. I see that Eddie dude put VHS blog coming soon.
Dude,
Hell yeah.
should. The only
Let
reason I
me,
said like that's crazy is just because of the limited amount of time that you have on a tape.
yeah. Oh, dude, we had stacks of tapes, man. Like you just go buy another one.
Man,
Fucking
I
laser disc edit.
I never experienced the laser disc. I'm too young
Oh
for that.
shit. Yeah, that was very short lived though.
Oh, was that before the DVD? Like right before DVD?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they have Rad on Laserdisc, and it's nearly impossible to find. I've like looked and looked, and I just fucking can't find it anywhere.
Wow, that must be like the pinnacle of the rad like
Yeah, I think
stuff.
so. They have the Rad soundtrack on vinyl too, which is impossible to find.
Wow.
I'm into like collecting old shit, so
Yeah,
I'm always looking for stuff.
I'm always like blown away whenever you're posting like today's garbage finder. This guy was just selling this randomly and it looks like it's some like crazy bike that is worth a whole bunch of money from back then, and it's just like how the hell did he just come across this for the 50th time? Like I've never seen someone selling or never seen one of those bikes in the trash ever.
Yeah, they're very hard to come by these days. I honestly missed the flood, if you will. Like
Mhm.
probably I'd say 10 to 15 years ago was the big hit when people started dumping that stuff, and it
Oh,
really took off. Like that dude at Haro, John, the one that revived all of did all the retro
yeah,
Haros, he got in at the right time. So he's built up every pro model Haro bike
ever.
since '82. Yeah, every single one.
Yep, which is
Um,
crazy.
but yeah, so I miss that. So if I find one now, like I make it, I make it. I just make it a point to go pick that up. Like I'll just stop everything I'm doing. I'll leave work. I don't give a shit. I'm going.
That's awesome. Dude, that's passion though. That's like
Yeah,
screw you guys, this is not going to be here if I don't leave right now. I have
yeah,
that mentality too when I find a crazy deal about something, I get a hold of them and I'm like I will come right now.
yeah. And luckily, like I've always had a pretty good work environment where I could just like dip out if I had to. You know.
That's good. That's a healthy work environment, honestly.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Um but speaking of this older like bike stuff, I've heard some people say like I'm obviously this probably won't be the case for you because you're not doing this for the value of what you're getting. You're doing it
Mm-hmm.
for the fact that you want those bikes. But there's some people have talked about, well, the fact that these bikes are only valuable right now because of the people who are buying them. And then once those people get too old to care anymore, the value like does the value disappear with the people who care about it right now? Like,
I mean, did the value disappear for like a 1900s Harley Davidson?
well, that's true.
And like I'm into shoes too, so I collect shoes, and same thing. Like they're not valuable unless people are reselling them and buying them. You know what I mean? Like Supreme clothes, like it wouldn't be worth what it is if people aren't buying the shit. So anything's only worth what people are willing to pay. But I will say that even bikes these days will be valuable one day.
Whoa.
Yeah. So
Whoa.
so go ahead and buy up your fucking layered frames. You know, even
Yeah.
Sundays already become valuable, like the old
There's a
Aaron
few
Ross
of them.
completes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bike shop I ride for has one of those grape soda bikes hanging
Yeah.
on the wall.
Those the orange, the grape. Yeah.
Man, you blew my mind with that
Yeah.
Harley Davidson comment. Now I get it.
Yeah, I don't think this stuff's going away. I think a lot of people are holding on to it,
Hmm.
hoping that it's gonna just keep going up. I don't know if it's gonna keep going up, but there's no way to tell.
Yeah, and I think if the right people who are collecting this stuff are the ones that don't care mostly.
Hmm.
Like,
Hmm.
I'm,
Well, wait, what was the question? I didn't catch that.
I was just saying, like the people, like the right people who are collecting this stuff, like the people who have good intentions are the ones who don't care how much its value is.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
doing it because they want the bike.
yeah. That's not a majority of the people who are collecting this stuff though.
Right.
People are collecting this shit strictly for the value, 100%.
Yeah, I've seen quite a lot of people who get angry at the guys who buy these like crazy bikes and then just don't ever do anything with it.
Yeah, one of my good friends, he has like the biggest collection I've probably ever seen, and he has never ridden BMX, but he's like a
Whoa,
good friend of mine, and
that's
we became
crazy.
friends through collecting, and he just got into it for like the art of it. You know what I mean? He just thought they looked awesome, and he knew they were valuable. So
Dude, that's really,
he's a
really
fun,
cool and
yeah,
so like crazy to think that there are people out there who have bike collections, BMX bike collections, who've never ridden BMX.
oh yeah,
That's so
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. He's an absolute poser. I give him shit all the time for
Hey,
it.
whatever.
Yeah,
That's just
but I
like
love him.
that's
He's a
pretty
good dude.
cool though. I mean,
Yeah,
that's no different than people who've never played basketball having basketball cards.
yeah, yeah. That's a good point. Which, by the way, I'm super into basketball. Can't wait for the season to start. I've just been like counting down the days, man.
What's the word? Is it going on? Like what's
Oh
happening
yeah,
with that?
oh yeah, it's happening. They got like a few more weeks of practices and just getting ready. All the games are being played down in Disney World, which is kind of weird.
Oh, I did hear about that.
Yeah, yeah.
Because they have like
Super into basketball.
so many different like stadiums or something crazy
Yeah,
already.
they just have a good setup for it, and they can just get everybody there, and nobody else can like enter the area.
Dude,
So they're just containing everything.
that's some freaking apocalyptic stuff.
Dude,
Jesus Christ.
dude, whenever you see a mask on the ground, it's like dirty and it's like been kicked to the gutter. Like it just seems so apocalyptic, doesn't it? It seems
Yeah.
like a sci-fi movie. Like this shit came over throughout the whole world, and all that's left are these old shitty masks laying in the gutter. Like, damn, man.
And then we got the NBA in Disneyland. We've got the UFC in Abu Dhabi on an
Yeah.
island. Like, what
Oh
is
man.
going on?
What's that beeping sound? Is that you? All right,
Oh,
cool.
it's just something in the
Oh,
background.
okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, man. Pretty crazy times, dude. But honestly, like, this whole thing couldn't have come at a better time because I'm pretty outdoorsy too. Like
Yeah.
I fish almost every day, which is kind
Really?
of
Oh, wait.
a
I see
weird
you
little.
posting with your kid. Yeah.
Yeah, I fish all the time, almost every day, and I was also mushroom hunting for a long time. So like this
That's
thing
awesome.
happened like right when the season took
Oh,
off.
well, the thing about that, though, like my neighbor, who I'm like super, super into fishing too. Like, if I didn't find BMX, I'd probably be a fisherman with a fishing YouTube channel or something. But my neighbor's the one who got me into that, and he's super into mushroom hunting and fishing and all that stuff too. And he said because of all of this, all of the places that he went were just completely flooded with people.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I see Rich. You know Rich Hop, or is it
Yeah,
Hoppy?
I
Um,
think it's hoppy, but
he runs the Fort Wayne Indoor Skate
yep.
Park, which I haven't been to yet. But he said Comp Three Tweakers, which I think is a term for a old collector, or maybe doesn't ride BMX, possibly.
Ah, that's funny. We've had a couple guys like Good Cat and Fernando who came in here talking about how they started riding again after a long time. Good Cat said they just started riding again after 21 years.
Damn,
That is so awesome.
man, I'd like to know why what got him back into BMX.
Yeah. What did get you guys back into BMX since we're here? Uh, Hop P. Eddie
P.
said that there's a dude from California that goes to every full factory jam, and he will display all his Aaron Ross complete bikes, all signed by Aaron, and he doesn't even ride.
Like, why did it have to be signed by him though? You know what I mean?
Why do people want game signed and game worn jersey cards? You
That's
know,
different. That's different, man.
that's different. Well, we don't have companies making. Actually, no. Some companies do send out, like there was that Fit mixtape frame that was signed by Justin and Matt Nordstrom. There was only a few of those. It's kind of like that, but they're not meant
Okay.
to be collected.
I'm not into like, I'm definitely into autographs. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah,
you take like, they were raffling off Aiken's bike.
yeah.
I was like, I don't even really want his old bike, man. Like, what? It's just, it's cool. Like, it's a cool bike. I
Hmm.
love Aiken, but like, what am I gonna do with this bike?
Yeah,
It's just weird. I don't know.
you're gonna put it like in your garage.
Yeah,
Realistically, how many people have
yeah,
somewhere to put that, like in their house? And even then, like you got this random, like this guy was my hero when I was 15, and I've got his bike in my living room.
yeah. And then your guest is like, oh, cool,
Yeah, like
sweet.
okay, this guy.
Yeah, but it's cool. It's cool what they're doing. For, the cause and everything
Well,
like
yeah, the
that
whole
is
cause
great.
behind it was
Yeah,
awesome, and the hype that it brought to.
yeah, absolutely, man.
There's been a lot of that going on lately.
Yeah,
Gromdad's Jam, he always
yeah,
gets those really awesome like people to donate crazy stuff.
yeah. Good on him, man. I feel like I tried to have a jam this year, and I just don't have the motivation to reach out to companies and like ask for shit. I don't know what it is. He, dude, fucking, that's awesome. He's doing that. He's been doing it for a few years now, and
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm not into it.
Well, yeah, and the fact that a lot of companies don't have anything right now makes it hard too.
Yeah, like I just fucking bought a $90 profile axle, dude, and I did that to give them $90. Like
Mm-hmm.
I didn't, I fucking didn't want to buy a $90 axle. Like what, dude? Why is an axle $90?
Yeah, I don't know. Machining and the price for machining is really up there, I guess. You could.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, what am I trying to say? The tie axles that they make are like 125, $130, maybe more.
Shit, man. I thought when I pulled that out of the package, dude, I thought there'd be some like diamonds crusted on the ends, or like a little bit like a gold dip or something. Or
That's
maybe
funny.
like if you buy it, you get like they give you like a date with a BMX girl or something. Something, man. Hook me up.
Oh man, that's hilarious.
No, but that's cool, man. I'm glad to support. I've never bought anything profile before.
Really?
Never, man. Never been on profile.
What do you like?
Um, shit, man. I don't know, dude. I've always been into fly bikes, man. That was like a big
Fly's
inspiration of mine
awesome.
for a long time, dude. Um, man, I kind of want to talk about the Madeira thing a little bit.
Okay. What do you want to
I
talk about
wanted to,
specifically?
all I wanted to say was I think you could rebuild that image.
I don't see why
I
not.
think you can. I think you really can, man. Give me the opportunity to be the TM, man. I'll build the team and show that it's nothing to do with the brand, man. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's not. It's just some shit that happened, dude. Like everyone's so quick to cancel shit out, and I feel like Profile even canceled it out themselves.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Like
don't really.
work through these things.
I don't agree with the fact that it just everyone completely said like F Madeira itself as a brand, because the people involved with that situation didn't make those parts. The people who made those parts are people you don't even know who work at Profile who run those machines on a daily basis. It wasn't Mike Hinkins in there pushing the buttons, making those parts. So
Yeah, I hope they rebuild this thing, man. I hate to see people just cancel something out. Like, take adversity and grow from it and build and like re-image yourself if you have to. But work, do something. Don't just fall out.
right, and the part that blew my mind about it was just the fact that the entire team quit overnight. I I mean, I get the current day we live in where it's like kind of scary to be in their position. Like, well, what if I
Yeah,
stay and what
yeah.
are
To
people
think you'd
gonna
be
think?
associated with that image a little bit,
Yeah,
like,
that's pretty scary. Scary thought to have.
yeah, it is, man. It's a tough situation, but I just feel like there was something they could have done. You know?
Well, that was kind of the whole thing that I think a lot of people were mad about was just the delay. And people said, well, it was because he ran the Instagram page. And it's like, well, you can't say that because everyone at the company knew it happened.
That's
There's
bullshit,
no
man.
there's no way they couldn't be like, all right, we need that password right now, dude.
Someone needed to step up, man. Nobody did. Someone said, if you think about it, you're paying for someone's day at work with the price of tie. That's a good point, man.
That's 100% true too because I just had a custom tie axle made from one of my dad's buddies who's a machinist, and he told me that it took him about as long to make this axle as it does to make one of his like precision tops that he makes. He makes like spinning tops you spin with your
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
fingers,
yeah, yeah.
and he only charged me $50 to make that because like we know each other, family, friends, whatever. Whereas he sells these tops that he makes in the exact same amount of time out of other materials for like anywhere from like $500 to $2,000.
Wow, that's wild.
So like where you value your time, like your time is more valuable in that sense as a machinist.
Yeah, and these are things that I just don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know what it takes to
Right.
build a fucking female axle. And people are just saying like, it's gonna last you forever though. It's like it's a fucking axle, man. It's supposed to last forever.
Well,
but
you'd
but
be surprised.
yeah, that's why I needed a new one.
Yeah,
So
dude, I got a bag
yeah,
full of
dude,
broken ones.
there's not a day that goes by where I don't eat my words. You know what I'm saying? Like this is all part of
We're
living.
all learning.
Yeah, for sure. I love learning.
But to go back to what you're saying, to anyone who's involved in Profile Madeira, Casey is definitely one of the most hardworking people at what he does. So hook him up.
Yeah, man. I'm ready to take the
Who else is
job, man.
asking for the job right now?
Right. That's what I'm saying, man.
Build it
Real
from the
talk.
ground up
Facts.
and
Let's
and
go.
try. I don't see any reason like why it couldn't be done. And especially you're not sitting here saying this without some sort of an idea of what you might do if that actually were to happen. So like
Right.
give it a chance. You're not going to end up on national news for bike company team manager for BMX team says racist thing 10 years ago. Now they're trying to come back. Let's cancel them. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
that's just not going to happen.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I'm getting this wheel built up. Trying to ride, man. I just been itching to ride.
You like trails?
Yeah, I kind of do. I like building more than I like riding them.
Yeah, we
You
talked
know?
about how you'd been building again recently for the first time in a long time.
Yeah. I just I've always been into art, and that's definitely a form of artwork.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I don't know. I get into these phases, and I get real deep into them, and like that's been the most recent one. But like, yeah, it's just tough having like all my priorities in life,
Mm-hmm.
and trying to do something additional, like even additionally to BMX itself, like just riding itself is difficult to do. But when you add something else, you got to take something else away. You know what I mean?
Yep, and digging is exactly that. In the spring, you've got to take your time from riding the skate park finally after a long winter to put your time into digging so that you can ride the trails finally after a long winter and spring of digging and getting them ready.
Yeah, and the trails that I was digging at, I think that's where I don't know a whole lot about digging, but I think that's where he messed up and where I messed up was like starting to dig in like July. Like I don't think people really do that, you know?
You can. It's just it's so dry that
Yeah,
like
it's
it's
just
gonna be really, really hard to get a lip and a landing packed enough to be able to
right,
ride it. But you can
right.
definitely still do it. We've done it before.
Yeah, at least get some stuff ready for fall and like packing and shit like that, you know?
Yeah, I mean there's been times mid season where like I built a whole new lip and had it rock hard and ready to ride the next like day. You just have to put the work in, I guess you could say, to make it good.
Yeah.
It,
That Fernando dude said too many followers, not enough leaders. That's crazy, man. You ever think about leadership in BMX?
or the lack thereof.
That's crazy. I never thought about that before. Hmm.
It's not
Maybe maybe riders are like inadvertently leaders. I think they are. Certain riders who portray a certain image and do positive things. I think they guide, you know, kids down the right path in BMX and shit like that.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's pretty
absolutely.
crazy.
And I think that the whole concept of a like professional BMX rider is a leader and the whole like modern concept of influencers because that's basically what a pro BMX rider is, a BMX influencer because you're a social media like person, you know. So you're doing that and you are in an essence a leader.
Yeah, yeah. I think maybe kids might not realize like when you get sponsored, really you're trying to sell their stuff, man. Like
Mhm.
you're trying to represent for them. So like you take you back to the old school days again. Like they were, it was very clear who they rode for. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? You don't see that a whole lot these days. Which obviously times change. It's a whole different society we live in. But um, I'm not afraid to like. I wouldn't be afraid to represent someone. And kids, you shouldn't be afraid to represent who's helping you out.
Right.
You know what I mean? Throw out stickers. Do what you got to do. Like don't just do
Literally.
what. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I got my uniform T-shirt on still from work, but
Nothing wrong with
uh,
it.
no representing tonight. But
That's
yeah, dude,
funny.
it's I don't know.
You're totally right. And I think that there's just been like there's been such a crazy like BMX in kind of in a sense is kind of like the Wild West in terms of like how people do things because there's literally no set way to do anything other than you don't the idea if you're a pro rider you don't post broken parts on the internet, you don't talk about how much you get paid, you don't talk bad about the people who sponsor you. Like there's certain very obvious things, but there's no blueprint or laid out thing that any kid could just be like, all right, this is what I need to do to like to make it.
Yeah, yeah. Do you follow Colin McKay?
No.
He gets a lot of questions in his inbox because he runs he's the Vans TM.
Okay.
So an insane amount of requests and like sponsor me requests and shit like
Oh
that, you
yeah.
know. So he posted something the other day saying like something along those lines, just a very like makeshift blueprint of like how to get noticed. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Um, I don't know, man. I think it all comes down to being a really good bike rider, though. Like honestly, that's gonna be the first step in getting noticed. Like personality has a lot to do with it, yeah, these days. But like it all when it boils down to it, that's you got to be really fucking good, man.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be at a crazy level. And I was, when you were saying that, I was kind of thinking like of the other things you could say too. And maybe 5 years ago, I would say you need to be you need to have a strong presence on social media and all of these things. But it seems more and more that 2020 BMX companies are like consciously making decisions and efforts to pick kids and people to represent who aren't like giant on social media as like that. All these new kids that you see popping up are people that you've like haven't necessarily heard of before. Then you go to their Instagram page and yes, they have one and yes, they post on it, but it's not like they have 50,000 followers and they're picking them because they're an amazing rider and they have 50,000 followers.
Yeah, for sure. And it's like it's weird to see. I don't know. It's a big difference between looking at somebody on Instagram and seeing them ride in real life. Like it's very clear that a pro rider is where they're at. Um, it's made very clear when you see them ride in person.
Yeah.
So it's very hard to judge people off of their social media. Um, Even take like Chris Kyle, like obviously his shit is unbelievable, but
Hmm.
to be able to see that in person, I can't imagine how ridiculous the stuff he does is. Like I got to see Larry Edgar ride, and like not the biggest fan of Larry Edgar, but it was because he got I'm looking for the right words to say, man.
That's okay.
Um,
We're good. It's freestyle.
he got blown out a little bit. You know what I mean? He got blown out through social media for a few years there, and his I don't know, it just kind of affected his image a little bit. But I saw him ride, you
Yeah.
know, and to be able to see him ride in person is like fucking. Obviously, that's why he's where he's at.
Yeah.
Look at him ride. You know what I mean?
Dude,
It's just it's unmatched.
it is unreal to watch this dude fly out of a quarter pipe, then do a table, and then on his way down do a tuck no hander.
Yeah,
Just think about like when you're falling from an air out, like you're not thinking about doing a trick, you're thinking about landing.
yeah. Someone said this is where our BMX has been losing the touch.
I'm wondering what exactly he was responding to because there is somewhat of a delay between what people see and what we're saying.
Yes, I noticed that too. Yeah. Um,
I think they've done a lot better in the last couple months of posting like random stuff
yeah.
and just
Is it
random.
random? Do they post random stuff in your honest opinion?
It feels random. Like, just, I mean, the example I was going to give was that scooter trick, but I feel, did you see that one? The bar twist, bunny hop, the bunny hop thing where the dude did like a table bar spin or whatever.
I've seen that before. Yeah.
Well, they posted one of those, and I was gonna say that one felt random, but no, there's obvious like intent of like getting people to comment on that one because it was asking like opinions. But
Okay.
I feel like there's quite a lot of random stuff on there because I've seen things of like people who only have like a couple hundred followers when I click on it, but the clip is amazing.
Well, that's cool. If they're doing that, I'm all about it. It's just that sponsored post is really, it really bothers me, that whole situation about having sponsored posts on an Instagram that's called @BMX,
Yeah.
because that's going to be some kid's first, um, it's going to be his first. What am I trying to say?
Introduction.
Yeah, yeah. It's like first intro to BMX. He's gonna go on Instagram, search BMX. @BMX is gonna come up, and he's gonna say, man, I need to get a bike, man. I need to get some wheels or something. Oh shit, okay, I need to get these Odyssey wheels because that's what they got in BMX.
Yeah,
You know?
that's one thing I'm kind of bummed out on is like they only post stuff from companies that sponsor them, and there's a lot more in BMX than that.
Yeah, I just can't get past that fact, man. I'm sure whoever runs it, I'm sure he or the team, whoever it is, I'm sure they mean well, but I just can't. I can't get past that, man. I can't do it because there's so much good shit in BMX that you're not highlighting, and no kid's gonna see that firsthand. Like the first intro, like you said, man, they're not gonna see that shit because that's what they're gonna see. So I don't know, man. That's the only thing about it that bothers me. If
It's
you're
an
gonna have a,
understandable perspective to have, I think. I mean,
yeah, like I
you
don't,
have a valid point.
I'm not trying to fucking get negative on the situation, but like I just think if it's gonna be an @BMX, let's highlight all aspects of BMX. Let's highlight all little subcategories, genres, all eras. You know what I mean? Like BMX is huge. It's been around for a long time. Let's like showcase everything.
Yeah, and I think one part of that that's probably really important to like think about maybe is the fact that like it would take someone having posting on that Instagram page as their full-time job to be
Yeah.
able to do everything like what you're listing off there. But
Yeah,
then they do that as well as making videos for companies and posting on their site and posting on other companies' Instagram pages because those guys just do so much
yeah,
just to sustain themselves really.
yeah. And like I said, I know they mean well and they want BMX to grow and all that stuff, and like that's
Right.
cool. Um, I don't know. I'm not 100% on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I will say I was kind of like what the hell when they became the secondary account for Brad Sims there for a while. But then again, I was watching. I was like, dude, Brad just deserves that. He's on the top of BMX right now. That's just all it is. It's like there was a point in time where Mike Aitken was the guy in BMX. Well, Brad Sims is on his way, if he's not already there, to being that guy in BMX right now.
It's crazy because the stuff he's done to like get him there is much different than a lot of other riders. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Nobody's doing what he does, and
Dude, he's taking that stuff to. He's like riding curbs, but making it a skate park almost with how high and how far he's going.
it's unbelievable, man. Like in this day and age where you're just flooded with content, his shit always stands out. You
Yeah.
know, I like Courage Adams a lot too, man.
Yeah, Courage is insane. He was another one that was like just taking over the feed for all of
Yeah,
the different BMX things.
yeah, yeah. I'm a huge fan of him, man. And that whole Nigeria crew, you know, in Lagos, like I want to fucking go and visit, and I want to go ride with them. You know what I mean? I've talked to a bunch of them over Instagram, and like I'm just waiting to go, man. I'm gonna
That would
take
be
my son.
really
It's gonna
cool.
be awesome.
That would just be really, really cool.
But
Uh,
I wanted to plug an Instagram account
okay.
for anyone who's looking for like honestly the best of the best in like the history of BMX. Go to real underscore BMX with periods in between the B and the M. So real underscore BMX,
Actually, I can
and
pull it
it's
up.
yeah, pull that up, man, because it really showcases like the best shit. It really is. It's just honestly every post is just incredible.
The only thing about that page, I would suggest like several of these pages because the only thing about this one is that they just don't post as much as some of the other ones do.
Like as often.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm scrolling down just a little bit, and you got a picture of Brad Sims, you got Chase Hawk, like, and then you got some super old shit. You know what I mean? You got
Yep.
fucking yeah,
Trails,
Gons,
skate parks,
Ground Truck, like it's covers pretty much everything. Corey Walsh, like,
Chase
just
Hawks
wild,
in
man.
here doing
Yeah.
Unreal 360s.
Mhm. So
Yeah.
if y'all want to go check out something good, go check that out.
Yeah, I got it showing on the screen right now.
Oh,
So
nice.
so that's a thing. Like I said, the only thing that I just wish they kind of posted a little bit more often.
Hmm.
Seems like they're a few times a week. Yeah, like after a week. Yeah, a few times a week.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, that's enough but for some people who have nothing but time to be on the internet right now.
Yeah.
What about you? What do you like to do the most? Since you don't have videos and I haven't ridden with you enough, like what tricks do you like actually just what's your daily riding like when you go to the park or something?
Man, I just put pegs on probably about 6 months ago for the first time in about a decade, dude. I've been really like set on no pegs, no brakes forever, and just flowing. Like, cause I rode a lot of concrete parks when I was living in Virginia,
Yeah.
and really didn't have a use for pegs, to tell you the truth. And like now that I'm riding like backyard ramps and shit, and like back to these like prefab parks, like pegs are fun again. So I've
Yeah.
been really stoked on like getting back into my old like Midwest tech ways. You know what I mean?
And it's coming back too. The
Yeah,
tech lip trick style, dude, it's coming
yeah.
back.
Fucking brakes are coming back. What the
Yes,
fuck,
they
man?
are.
That's
And
so
there's
weird.
some things I'm not allowed to talk about, I'm assuming, but there's some things that are going to make brake people very happy if they happen.
Fucking trends, man. This shit's so weird, you
Isn't
know?
it crazy? I've been waiting on brakes to become a trend again, just so I can like benefit from it because brakes are gonna have innovation. Like they haven't had innovation in BMX brakes in how many years? The gyro is still exactly the same as it was whenever the Odyssey, like, or whoever made the first steel bearing, like, crappy one that comes on Walmart bikes now.
Yeah. The Odyssey gyros, like the original Odyssey gyro, will always be the best gyro.
And
And
it's
those are
still,
valuable too, dude. Those are you could probably get one for maybe $100, like an old Odyssey first gen
what
gyro.
the hell?
That's crazy. But
But
yeah, dude, trends. That's so wild. But you ride front and back brakes, right?
not currently. I'm working on having like an exact clone of my day-to-day bike,
Mm.
but with front brakes on it.
Oh, okay.
Just there's certain things that I'm trying to get done first that haven't happened yet.
Yeah, I've been into the tech Midwest shit, dude. That was really like, I don't know. That was a big influence of mine growing up. I rode this skate park called the Pit. I don't know if you ever
I've
heard of
heard of
that.
it.
Yeah, it was in Rockford, Illinois, which was probably about it was probably about a 40-minute drive for us, but it was like definitely our local spot for a while.
Yeah.
Um, and they had a perfect spine mini. It was 4.5 feet and a coping spine,
Oh,
and a lot of dudes came out of that area. And there were some heavy sessions for sure. A lot of like the Chicago area riders at the time spent a lot of time riding that skate park. So I was just constantly in awe of watching these people ride. So that's like definitely what got me inspired to just keep fucking going. You know what I mean?
yeah, and I think that part of that too, and what I would be so excited about if breaks and lip tricks and all this stuff become like the cool thing again, is that you're gonna be able to go to the skate park again, and there's gonna be people there having a session like on specific ramps. Like right now, it's so spread out and everything's so far out that people are all sessioning like different stuff. But can
Yeah.
you imagine if like you could just count on going to the skate park and it would feel like Baco in the Spine Mini,
Fuck.
where there's just like 20 dudes having a session in the Spine Mini?
That's crazy. I don't. It's like you almost don't remember sessioning like a specific ramp at the park. You know what I mean? Like that
Yeah.
was fucking so cool, man. Like everyone just taking one run after another.
That's literally what happens at Worcester when we ride. Like the Lip Lords Quarter is the most heavily sessioned ramp anywhere near here, probably.
Damn, that's cool. I've seen that quarter, man. That thing is like a.
Come ride it.
Is that a quarter? It's like that's kind of like a.
It's kind of a wedge quarter.
Yeah.
It's mellow.
Yeah, I can't believe you guys still ride that park, man.
I will never not ride that park as long as it's there. That is my
You know, you
favorite.
guys could probably raise a little money, just get like a something added to it. You know,
Yeah,
get
yeah,
like a 6 foot, 7 foot quarter, and like just do. You know, that's the beauty of those prefabs. Like you could always add shit.
yeah. I've looked and tried to figure out like where you could buy more of the same Woodward prefab ramps,
Hmm.
but what I found was that apparently all of them are, I don't know if all of them, I can't say that for sure, but the mass of them were made by a playground company in like 2001, and that company doesn't exist anymore.
Mm.
So, like, I don't know if you have to just buy them when they're up for sale used, or like you have to get different kinds of ramps or
Yeah,
something, but
there's something. There's definitely something you got to do. But yeah, where is it? Michigan City, Indiana
that
has a
whole,
Woodward Park.
yeah,
Yeah, which
that
is pretty cool. It's pretty big, actually.
that place is like the granddaddy version of my local
Yeah,
park.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'd say the Pit and Chenga were probably my two favorite parks growing up.
Man, I never got to experience Chenga 1.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Same deal. Like you show up and there's already a heavy sesh. So like, what are you gonna do as a fucking 16, 17-year-old kid? Like, try to do the biggest wall tap you can and like try not to die. Just to like, I remember someone saying early on, I was like, "Yo, dude, go do a big turn down just to like set the tone of like you're here to sesh." You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
But yeah, I remember those sessions, man. Jason Purrs, you remember him?
Dude, Dorito.
Yeah, Dorito.
We just rode a few weeks ago. He came up and rode Worcester.
Yeah, he was always there, always fucking sending it to flat.
Yeah, that guy. Man.
Steve Cuesta,
Cuesta too. Cuesta is the
fucking
man I
yeah,
love. Every
one of
time
my favorite Midwest riders for sure.
when he shows up at Ray's, it is just instant like excitement and
Yeah,
happiness.
yeah, dude.
Best
Loved watching
ever.
that dude ride.
He has the best 540s over spines that anyone has ever done.
That's ridiculous, dude. He'll like nose in, you know.
He'll literally do a nosedive 3,
Yeah,
be upside
yeah,
down, and then somehow spin a 180. Like, what?
yeah. That dude's awesome. Um, trying to think of who else was there. A lot of fucking dudes, man. Always shredding. Uh, the pit was home with Dirty Dan.
I know that
Dirty Dan
name,
from
but I
Kink.
don't know
He rode for Kink
specifically.
for a long time. He was a child, kind of like phenom BMX kid.
Oh, that's cool.
Um, yeah, pretty wild. But yeah, dude, I had a great upbringing in BMX for sure. Like, wouldn't trade it for the world. Like all those Midwest tech sessions, pit sessions, just decks were just completely packed every night. You know.
Man, can you imagine just having things like that again?
No, not really, man. It's just I couldn't handle that, man. You know,
Oh, I think it'd
I'd
just
go
be
right back
so.
into it.
I think it'd just be so much fun because
It'd be amazing.
the times being at Baco and then that one Ramp Riders jam that they had, just being on the deck with all those brake and front brake guys,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like there's only been a few times in BMX where I'm sitting there and I'm like, damn, this is where I'm like meant to be with these guys, like riding. We all have a similar brake type deal
Yeah,
that we got going on. This is it.
that's a huge part of BMX, man, and that's something those solo sessions lack. You know, there's a vibe to ride, and like if you don't catch it on a certain situation, like you just I don't know, it's just not the same. But I got jet, man. This has been sick. I gotta go fishing.
Oh, you're going night fishing.
Yeah, my son's been waiting on me. He's probably sitting right outside his door.
Dude, send me a picture if you catch a big one.
Yeah, I will for sure. This has
All
been
right.
awesome, man.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in here.
Hell yeah, dude.
We'll do it
I'll talk to you
again.
soon.
We'll do
Fuck
it with
yeah.
Montana Ricky next time.
That'd be awesome, man. I'd love
All
to
right.
talk to him.
See ya.
Later. Bye.
All right, everybody. I am going to jump off here as well. Thank you guys for tuning in. All 20 of you who are here now. 10 of you who hit the like button. Steve Woodward, Buzz James, 20 Grip, Bear BMX, Nathan Lord, UFOs, OG BMX. Who else we got in here? Buzz, Jeff Mead, Jacob, Bad for Life, Brody, William, I think. I forget if I said that right. All you guys, thank you for tuning in. Kevin Jackson, you are late, man. We are about to sign out of here, but we will maybe come back tomorrow night with Montana Ricky. Not 100% sure yet. If not, though, we'll see you on the news video tomorrow. Good night, everyone.